Good afternoon. It's December the 29th, 2024, not quite 2025. I'm finally back after taking it easy for the entire week of Christmas. And even this will be a short walk because we do have somebody coming over in a little bit, but I did want to get out because I have not been out, and I know my rabid fans, probably tearing down the walls, wondering where I've gotten to, or maybe not. As it says, no place in particular, just around the neighborhood here. I think we will, what will we do? We'll go this way to start with, up the crescent. Well, no, maybe I'll sort of mosey toward the creek, I guess. Oof, gee. Well, I had a good Christmas. I hope you did too. Yeah, I don't know what to say. Ate a lot, played games, got presents, sang "O Holy Night." If you look at my YouTube channel, you can see the clip of me singing "O Holy Night" on Christmas Eve at West Hill Park Baptist Church, which I talked about in my last walk. What else? Those are the highlights. Went to see Peter Pan at Globe Theatre. It was quite good. We knew quite a few people in it. Oh, there's squirrels chasing each other around that tree there for some reason. Is it mating season already? Probably is pretty soon because they have to be having babies in the spring, so. Cautiously cross here because I almost slipped on the last one. It was very mild and then it wasn't, so today it's about minus, I don't know what it is right now. It was minus 17 when I got up this morning. It was minus 2 when I got up yesterday morning, so there's been a drop for sure. I assume it, yes. It is a lovely day if you like crispy winter days. It's almost 4 o'clock, so the sun is already heading down. It'll set around 5. But I won't be out that long. This will probably be about a half-hour walk at most. So I can get back and get ready for someone who's coming over this evening. Let's walk through the alley. Why not? Wolf Perot territory, if you know Wolf Perot, which you probably don't, but he's a local artist who paints back alleys. Although he makes them more photogenic, he doesn't have these modern plastic tubs that run up and down the alleys. Otherwise, this is totally a Wolf Perot scene. His alleys still have the old tin garbage cans. So now everybody has 3 of these. One for kitchen and yard waste. We don't use that one very much. Regular garbage and recycling, so. I've never lived in Saskatoon, so I can't really offer an insight to what it's like to live in Saskatoon. So that's a great subject for debate. Saskatoon has better restaurants, I can tell you that. I probably like the downtown in Saskatoon better. Regina has Wascana Park, The Ledge, of course, which is nice. And we have the Rough Riders, if you're a football fan. IMAX Theater, that sort of thing. Both have symphonies. Both have professional theater companies. Those are the sorts of things that interest me. Both have art galleries. The Reme Modern in Saskatoon is quite a fine art gallery. Other than that, I don't know what to say. We don't have to cross bridges to get around town, which are big bottlenecks in traffic. But Regina is a government town very much. Saskatoon is a bit more entrepreneurial. Saskatoon has the big university. We have a smaller university. Take your pick. But I've never lived up there, so I don't. I've been there a lot, but I've never lived there. Regina is, well, technically everybody in Saskatchewan lives in the southern part, but we're closer to the border than Saskatoon is. If you look at the map, Saskatoon and Regina are both in the bottom bottom third of the province, I would say. La Ronge, which is as far north as I've been, and just a little further north, is still, I don't know if it's even halfway up the whole province. Probably, but still a lot of province north of that. But yeah, Regina is further south. And before this, I lived in Weyburn, which is much further south, another 100 kilometers southeast of here. Or what? If you went straight south, we're probably, I don't know, 150 kilometers from the border. Something like that. I think I'll go this way so we can see if anybody's tobogganing. Be willing to bet there are quite a few people tobogganing, actually. Fortunately, I'm not sure if the sidewalk is clear over here. I've almost fallen over here once, but go this way. There's too many people down there with their cars. We'll go up on the dike and walk by the tobogganing spot, the bowl. We'll go by this slightly threatening Santa Claus. I say that because of the way he's leaning forward. It's like, I see you when you're sleeping. I know when you're awake. I know when you've been bad or good. So better watch out, for goodness sake. I've lived here since I was 8 years old. I don't mind the cold. It's my home province. It's home. Actually, the snow was a selling point when we moved up here from Texas. As a small child, my parents said we were moving to Canada. I thought we hit a wall of snow right at the border, but it was August, so it didn't work that way. There are times the snow and ice can be annoying, that's for sure, but it's also very beautiful, like today. We'll look along the dike here. See how low the sun is. Supposed to be much colder this week. I don't think there's any fresh snow in the forecast for a few days, but we'll see. Me? I'm American. I'm a melting pot. Since my family has been here. Well, if you just go to the Willets, they were here since the 1600s in the U.S. And then in the family, I've got going on there. I've got Germans and French and English, and anecdotally, maybe a little Cherokee. Oh, I can't find any proof of that, so it may be a myth, family myth. I'm surprised more of them don't run into each other down at the bottom. My grandmother was an Umstadt, so there's your German. There's also some Moppens, that's French, but again, how long had they been over here? I don't know. So we are Americans. As we said when we immigrated in 1967, they asked what our ethnic background was, and we said we were Americans. They said, you can't be Americans. Yeah, but there's nothing else there. I mean, so finally we said we were English because they had to tell them something, but not really English. No English, as in Great Britain, connection for a very long time. Americans, that's what we are. And Canadian now by, I'm a dual citizen, American Canadian citizen. Colorfully painted garage over there. I don't think I ever walked along that alley to see it up close, but nice summery scene. Looks nice in the winter here. Yes, I love Indian food. We have a couple of really good Indian restaurants here in town. Quite often our choice if we're going to order in. There's been people down there. There's footprints. Looks like ski tracks. I don't know, it looks like a little tiny skating area. Maybe they had it cleared and then it snowed again, but they just cleared a path around the outside. I don't quite know what the purpose of that is. There is often a homemade skating area on the creek, although it's usually further up. And as you can see, lots of people out walking dogs. Remnants, at least, of a snowman over there. And it looks like a headless snowman down there.
Yeah, no one.
With my shadow. Hello. Some cross-country skiers down there. A lot of dogs on the dike. This is like the third or fourth one we passed coming up here. See, there has been in the past. People have put a rink on the ice right down there, but I don't see it this time. Nobody on the playground. After my walk, we have somebody coming over for dinner and then just visiting. Nothing special. Somebody's here for Christmas. Oh wait, maybe. Oh, that's under the bridge. No. And yet more dogs. Well, somewhere along here, I can probably go down. Yeah, let's do this. Let's take this path. I don't know if it's an official path, but it has become one. People walking on it. That's a good life. I like it. It's better than the alternative, which is being dead, so. I'm not sure there's normally a path here, but it has become one just from people walking along it in the snow. Good lighting this time of evening when you're walking with the sun behind you. Makes everything look warmly lit. Sky really blue. I don't know. Saskatchewan's not the usual retirement choice because people tend to want warmer places. So people in Saskatchewan tend to retire out to BC. So I don't know. I don't know anybody who's retired from Ontario to Saskatchewan. Unless they were from here originally, I guess, and they came home. But it's a fine province. I like it. Good government, I think. For the most part, there's never any government you're entirely happy with. We have the Rough Riders. Yay! It'll be warmer in April. Snow might have melted by then. Depends. It's hard to say. I have seen snow linger right through April. Usually it starts to melt in April. It's usually gone by the end of April. There's no guarantees. I think certainly Regina, or Saskatchewan in general, has a lower cost of living. If you retire here, you can find housing much cheaper than bigger centers. If you want to live in small town Saskatchewan, you could probably get a really big house for what would be considered. This is College Avenue. I'll go up a little further here. Be considered a small price in the bigger cities. Oh, somebody built a fort, complete with a flagpole. I don't see a matching fort for snowball fights, but yeah, I think your retirement money would go a lot further in Saskatchewan and some parts of Canada for sure. I can't say anything specifically, but I would imagine most of the houses I'm walking past are in the, I don't know, 350. The smaller ones might be 250, 250,000. There are certainly $1 million houses. They're really big ones here, whereas in some places $1 million house is not very big. But, you know, an ordinary small bungalow, I can't imagine these are more than probably 250 or something like that. It's a private building. But again, I haven't actually bought a house, so I'm just basing it on what I see. Okay, how long is that? 20 minutes? Okay, we'll keep going this way a bit more. And then work my way back home. I would generally say I prefer summer to winter, but I don't hate winter. At least part of the time, it's quite lovely. Yeah, Maple Creek, I like Maple Creek. It's a cool little town, and of course you have the Cypress Hills right there, which are quite spectacular. Highest point between, what is it, the Rockies and the Laurentians, I think. It's right here in Saskatchewan and Alberta, because the Cypress Hills kind of span the border there. So up on top you have a mountain biosphere. I think it's 8,000 feet is the highest point in the Cypress Hills, so quite substantial. Great view from up there with the prairies surrounding you. Yeah, summers I think probably more than winters. Autumn and spring actually, well autumn especially is probably my favorite month and favorite season in Saskatchewan. Oh, that's sold. I mostly came this way so we could possibly walk through the playground here. Let's see, is there enough of a path done across it that I would want to go that way? No. So we'll keep going this way. But there's the cathedral over there. Holy Rosary Cathedral, built in 1910. Looks nice this time of day with the sun shining on it, especially. There is a path that curves around here, but again, I don't know if it's been kept up at all, so it may not be something I'm going to want to walk. It's kind of what I was thinking of, though. Let's see what it looks like. Yeah, it's probably okay. Beaten down enough. Yeah, that one going that way looks pretty good too. But I'll go this way so it takes us by the cathedral, or up to the cathedral in here. Do I pray? I grew up the son of a preacher man and went to Christian college and high school, so that is my upbringing. There's like I said, you should go watch me sing "Oh Holy Night" on the clip that's on my YouTube channel from Christmas Eve. The cathedral gets bigger and bigger the closer you get to it. It's amazing. This used to be well, a nunnery basically, but now it's condos. Don't particularly want to go on to 13. I'm just going to turn the corner and head back down that way. That's 13th Avenue, a lot of shopping and little shops and things along there. I guess I can go around the front end maybe of the cathedral and then head back down. Again, this time of day you get such lovely lighting on the towers, steeples, and the walls. Thank you. It is one of the things I do. I've sung with high-end choirs all my life and do musical theater and I've done some opera. So singing is, I guess you'd say I'm a professional singer of a sort. I do get paid for it sometimes. So look up, look way up. In fact, I've sung in here, but not for many years. I remember singing in Christmas Eve Mass in the cathedral here, but that was, probably 30 years ago now. I knew the choir director at the time. She's long gone from here. All right, now we're trending back towards the house. That's Westminster United Church there. That's where my next choir concert that I'm in will be. We're doing one there at the end of March with Wascana Voices, which is a self-directed choir that I sing with. High-end choir. Don't see any musical theater in my near future, though. Regina Lyric Musical Theater that I've often performed with is doing Sister Act. It does have parts I could potentially play, but it's scheduled opposite something I can't miss, so I won't be able to be part of that. I was in Beauty and the Beast last May, playing Maurice, Belle's father. That was fun. I used to do a lot more of it than I have recently. My daughter started doing it, and next thing I knew, I was mostly driving her to things rather than doing it myself. Holy Rosary Cathedral. And this is a Catholic school that I believe has closed. I think it's closed now. And this is a separate school board offices here. I'm not sure what's happening with the school building. Certainly they were saying they were going to close it. I think it's closed. Now we're trending back toward home. For me, not for you. My wife was out yesterday morning around the lake taking part in the annual New Year's bird, they call it a census. So bird watchers go out and see what species they can identify and who's here this winter, that sort of thing. She really enjoyed it, hadn't done that sort of thing before. The one that surprised me recently is hearing woodpeckers. I don't know, I always figured they were a sign of spring, but apparently they actually winter over. I'm just not sure. There must be insects hiding inside the trees that they're able to peck out to live on, because you'll hear them banging away. No, I don't think I'll walk down that alley. It's probably slick. But this sidewalk looks much better. Our piano that's in our house used to live on the top floor. It's a grand piano, baby grand. Yeah, at one point, it was on the top floor of that apartment building. It belonged to a piano teacher named Madame Burkett, and she didn't like anybody living over her head, so their apartment was up there. So at some point, our baby grand was hauled up to the top floor and later hauled back down again when my wife's grandparents bought it from her. But it's been sitting in our living room now since the 1950s. Even when we renovated, they didn't move it out of the house. They just put a box around it and put it on wheels so they could move it around as they worked in the living room. So it's been in one place now for more like 70. Yeah, probably around 70 years now, maybe even a little more. The piano itself is around 100 years old. It's a Kanabi, which at one point was a competitor with Steinway. The Kanabi was the official accompaniment piano of the Metropolitan Opera for a time, because it was considered more voice-friendly than the Steinway, which was more of a concert pianist's instrument. My favorite picture of a Kanabi, there's one with Einstein, who played the piano, sitting at his piano, and it was a Kanabi. But the North American factory went under because of the Depression. So 1929, the factory closed. Well, that's great to know. Well, I've certainly talked to people who kind of were partially... I played a role in their decision to move here, because they would watch these and see what it's like, and they move here, and then sometimes they tell me that, so it's kind of cool. Keep thinking, maybe if I asked the Chamber of Commerce if they'd pay me to do these walks and show off the city. $50 a day, I'd be happy to do one of these. $50 every day. $5 days a week. Let's not be greedy. $250 a week. $1,000 a week. $12,000 a year. Cheap at half the price. Anyway, I think about that, but I've never done anything about it. Or real estate brokers. I'll walk in the neighborhood where you have houses to sell if you'll pay me $100 for the walk. What do you say? Maybe people would do that. Well, I started doing this, by the way, because we found a fellow named Walking Commuter on YouTube who walked around Manhattan, and we watched a lot of his walks, and it was very interesting. So I recommend him if you'd like to see a bigger city. Walking Commuter is his channel. Well, I hope so. It's not really what I'm out to do, but I'm just showing off where I walk. The trouble is, if somebody paid me, they'd have some say over what I said. Not that yeah. No, what I'm going to do is gradually phase down my publishing so I can concentrate more on my writing. I've got only so many years left and so many books I want to write. What shall we do? Cannot Crescent? I guess so. I'll do whatever Cannot Crescent. And the fact is, if I was doing nothing but writing, I could do at least 3 novels a year, probably 4. Good night, Summit. I presume I'm pronouncing that correctly. The sidewalk unexpectedly descended right then. That's why I made that weird noise. The roads we melted, and then now it's gotten cold and frozen again, so yeah, they will eventually clear these residential streets, but it's very low priority. They do a really good job of clearing the main roads, but again, this time of day the lighting makes everything look better where the sun hits it. I was struck by these. There's this very modern house here, and then there's this little tiny blue house next to it with that much space between them. Of course, I walked this way on Christmas Eve, showed off the Christmas lights. Yeah, I have over 1,000 subscribers, so I make, $15 to $20 a month. Every once in a blue moon, somebody does the, what do they call it? Super chat thing where they give me money, but that doesn't happen very often. called? Something like that. So this is only a half crescent. It used to go, or was sort of intended to go, as a full crescent, but then they built the school here. This was a farmer's place, I think. Before they built the school, there was a farm here. The city was much smaller in those days, obviously. And that's Davin School, where my daughter went. They renamed it the Crescent School, but we always called it Davin. And that's the second Sastel building over there. The third one, where my wife now works, is downtown. The first one now belongs to the Royal Saskatchewan Museum, full of labs, dinosaurs and things, bones. Yeah, no. Well, the main reason I started doing it was to give me more incentive to walk more, and it certainly has done that. Even though I'm not quite as religious about it as I was. You know, it does give me a reason to walk on days when otherwise I might not have, like today. And it was very tempting to keep sitting at my computer playing a game. But the little angel on my shoulder won out over the little devil. When the other soldier, the little devil, was saying, "You don't want to go out for a walk, stay in, play Civilization." And the little angel said, "No, be good. You have people who want to walk with you around Regina. You can't disappoint them." And so here I am, and I'm done. So thanks for walking with me. Theoretically, I'll be back tomorrow. Hope so. Yeah, not sure where I'll go, but I should be back tomorrow. Anyway, that's it for now. Thanks for walking with me. Goodbye.